Happy Friday, everybody. It's been a minute since I feel like I have done some sewing on a live stream with all the travel. I swear I just heard a door open. Maybe not. Happy Friday, everybody. Today is Friday, August 4th, and we are kicking off the weekend. I cannot believe it is August. This summer is flying by. So for those of you that are doing the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt, let me just put this out there really quick so that you're tracking everything. I swear somebody's going to pop through that door. I know not really, but it sounds like Jason's coming and going out of the laundry room. So sorry if I keep looking that way. I just heard it again. I have no idea what's going on. Hold on. Stupid bot doesn't want to work. So while I am multitasking and getting the bot up and running, because apparently it's supposed to turn itself on all automatically, but you know how that goes. Sometimes technology doesn't want to be our friends. Sorry, having a hard time doing multiple things at once. Okay, so Cotton Cuts. I want to talk about the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt before we get too far into this, because if you figured out the that I have on the first Friday after clues ship, I will sew my clue on a live stream. And for those of you that are tracking last week on Friday, July 28th, the Cotton Cuts Carnival Puzzle Mystery Quilt started shipping out. Yes, I'm so excited about this one. I'm going to be doing a size large in the colorway Cotton Candy. However, they did something a little different this time around. Normally, if you're an ambassador, you get your ambassador stuff ahead of when clues ship so that content creators have enough time to prepare materials. Sadly, I did not get mine in time to be able to sew tonight. So I will not be sewing clue number 1 for the Cotton Cuts Carnival Puzzle Mystery Quilt on tonight's live stream. But I don't think that's really going to matter too much to most of you, because I am sure you are here just to hang out and sew and have a good time anyway. What I'm working on probably is just a little detail. It's not the reason you're tuning in, at least I hope. I hope that's the case. When I get my materials for the Cotton Cuts Carnival Puzzle Mystery Quilt, I will schedule a live stream. I'll do it. And if it comes too late in the month, because I have other things scheduled for Fridays, I'm not going to cancel those. I'm not going to bump them. If I need to, I will do clue and 1 together, or I'll just do clue 1 offline on my own, and I'll show it to you when I do month number 2. And that's how it's going to be. But I do want to let you know that the Village Green clues shipped out today. And so I am planning to do clue number 7, I think it is, for Village Green next week. Looking at the chat to make sure I'm not missing anything, and it looks like everything's okay. The bot should be working now. I know it. Yep, I see it. It was not working. I don't know why it wasn't working. It's technology. So what I am going to work is block number 2 for the 2023 Designer Mystery. And so this, I'll just go to the overhead camera. This is, I feel like I could zoom in a bit more and you could see this. This is a block of the month from Fat Quarter Shop. And I'm doing this. I like it. I will say, I feel like the pictures don't represent the block as well as they could. When you see the fabrics in person, it's a whole lot nicer. But when you see the picture, you're just like, I don't know. The designer for this month is Sherry and Chelsea, which I absolutely love. I believe the fabric for this is, I want to say it's Camille Ross Kelly's Dwell fabric, but I could be wrong on that. But this is what the block is going to look like. I did do block number 1, which I don't know where it is off the top of my head. Yeah, that's not it. I don't know where it is off the top of my head, so I'm not going to grab it and hunt it down, but I already have done block number 1, so I figured this month I'm just going to work on, this week I'm going to work on block number 2. I starched the fabric, I got it cut out, and I do want to highlight this though, because this is kind of a big deal to me. For those of you that have seen the block of the months from Fat Quarter Shop and you're sitting on the fence and you haven't pulled the trigger and you're not sure, one second, throwing that out. Okay, can you hear me better now? Okay, where was I? All right, so for that mic has caused me problems 3 weeks in a row. So we're going to have to get a new microphone. I think it's the way the lapel is, the little wire is holding the microphone. It's allowing the microphone to hit the shirt and it's causing friction. So I apologize for the audio, but the bot's working. The audio should be good. Let's just get to sewing. All right, so the designer mystery. Let me tell you about this. For those of you that have been sitting on the fence with the Fat Quarter Shop block of the month, I want you to know how awesome these, I'm gonna have to turn this down because that's too much. I want you to know how awesome these kits are. They're amazing. And I'm telling you this as somebody who is paying her own hard-earned money to be in the block of the month program. The reason why I find them to be amazing is because the generous cuts you get of fabric. So take a look at the overhead here. I got my pattern, which is here, and then I've got all of my pieces already cut out of the quilt kit. I hate wearing this thing on my shoulder. I hate wearing it on my shirt because my neck hits it. Anyway, these are all the pieces that are already cut out of it. And this is all the leftover fabric. These are all of the scraps that we have for this month's block. Like, these are some generous cuts. You could do a whole lot with these extra pieces of fabric. This one is a fat quarter that, like, literally, look at all that. It's folded over. This is just awesome. So the reason why I'm showing this to you is because I have been a part of block of the month programs that shortchanged you on fabric or made the fabric in the package so tight that there was no room for starch and there was no room for a miscut. And I will say, Fat Quarter Shop is the only block, well, I shouldn't say that. Fat Quarter Shop consistently, that's the word I'm looking for. Fat Quarter Shop consistently does not have that problem. So kudos to FQS for making sure that you have more than enough materials to make the block. And that's what I'm going to work on. So I've got the pattern over here. I'm going to try to keep the directions out of the camera so that I'm not giving away a pattern that I really shouldn't be giving away. I'm just going to start working and read the chat. Hello, Donna. Donna said she is here and lurking. Tiffany says hello. Greenland Quilter is here. Candy is here. Donna did hers last week. That's awesome. And let's see. I see Mom here too. Ian's here. Okay. Jennifer Torney is here. Hello. Okay, I think I've covered the chat. So, all right. So we're going to start with step number 1. I'm going to grab my fabric B, which I know to be, wait a minute. Hold up. I already made a boo-boo. I didn't cut enough of those rectangles, so I'm going to cut those really quick. Fortunately, I have plenty of yardage. I only cut 2, and I should have cut 8. And I've got plenty left in here that I can cut and make some more from. So let me just do that really quick. I need to cut 6 more of these. I need my ruler. Oh my goodness. Okay, that should be right there. So if I'm going to need 6 more of these, I'm going to have to make 1 more cut out of that fabric. All right. What's Why are we saying Hello everyone. It's the Shelby says this is the first year I've subscribed to this block of the month and I've been loving it so far. Awesome. Wait a minute, what is this? Oh, okay. It should be this measurement. Oops, I think the ruler slipped. I shouldn't have had it half off of the table. Nope, it didn't slip. So it's okay. Shoot. You ever have one of those days? I feel like I am having one. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me get 2 more, and then we'll set this aside. Hello, Jewel. Bump, 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 bump. 2. All right. This. How many of you collect salvages? Susan O'Neill Smith has mentioned multiple times about how she thinks salvages are so beautiful and she could collect all of them. They're like yardage for her. And I know Donna has taken to doing those as well. And I want to, but I feel like that's going to be a whole nother thing. And the reason why I brought that up is because this salvage, I actually tried to cut it off of the fabric because it says life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. And it's really cute, but I didn't cut it generously enough that I could do anything with it. So I'm just kind of like, okay, well, that's going to have to get thrown away. How many of you, though, I'm curious, do bother to cut off and save salvages from your fabric lines? There we go. Okay, now that we're set, we're going to set that aside. FQS sells salvages. What? Maybe I'll do that. I will send anyone my salvage that wants it. I think Donna will take you up on that. Mary Jane does not save her salvages. I have not, and I feel like I'm a bad person for not doing that, but I do not. All right, so step number 1, we're going to take our fabric B and our fabric D, which is this. And we're going to make 8 of these where we just basically sew the square to the right side of that little white piece of fabric. Bambi says it's too expensive to order from the States and pay shipping and the money exchange. Jewel says, I cut them off and throw them away. That's funny. Oh, draw the line at strings. No salvages. I don't usually save them, Jackie says, but super cute ones I make pot holders with. That's fun. There's 3. Bill says, my new legit kit arrived, as well as my small and large puzzle mystery quilts. So I do want to mention that. Good. Thanks for the reminder there, Billy Bob. So while we had our weekend-long Zoom last week, we talked about having a support group of sorts. So several of us have gotten legit kits or FPP projects or just other projects that we want to work on. And we decided, at least for the next couple of months, we were going to do a Saturday night support group on Zoom at 8 p.m. And this is for my VIP members. So if you want to join that, you do have to join the VIP group. This is going to be the second Saturday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern time, just for an hour or two, where we show what we're working on, or we just carve out time to actually sit and sew. I'm targeting it to be about 2 hours. I want to be in bed by 10. The goal here is that hopefully we'll get some of this stuff done. And it came about because I want to get another legit kit, but I need to get Vortex finished before I allow myself to spend the money on another legit kit. And I know several of the folks that were in this weekend's Zoom have legit kits themselves that they want to work on. And a few of them mentioned that they were intimidated. They've seen Donna's video, they've seen Ian's videos, they see me working on them on a live stream, but they're a little intimidated and haven't started them yet. And so I thought, well, why not just give everybody a place where we can work on it in real time, and we'll see how it works. This also gives you, if you're a VIP member, a chance to have a Zoom with me in a different time slot. Because I know the Sunday afternoons is difficult for a lot of folks. By the way, we're going to press this under fabric D. I know Sunday afternoon can be a little difficult depending on your time zone. I'm doing the Zooms on Sunday, the last Sunday of every month, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. my time, but that can conflict with church and family for a lot of people. So hopefully this Saturday afternoon or evening Zoom might be something that works out a little bit better for those of you that are looking to get in on a Zoom with me but can't do it because of church obligations. So we'll see. And no, you don't have to bring a legit kit to that Zoom. I've only committed to do this for August and September. We'll see how well received it is. I will not be doing one in October, but if we do pick it back up, it'll be November. I'm skipping October. October will be the month where I decide whether I'm going to continue it. So we'll see how it goes for a couple of months. And if you want any information on how to join that VIP program, it's $5 a month. Explanation VIP will get you that link. All right, now that I have sewn to the right of that little white block, I'm going to set these aside. I can take a minute to stop and measure this to make sure it all measures up according to what the pattern says. I think I'm going to live dangerously because I know I'm sewing with what is a perfect 1/4 inch on my machine. I'm going to take fabric G, which is this, and fabric C, which are these, and we're going to make a little strip unit. We're going to make 4 of them, so I need 4 on either side. We're going to put the rectangles on either side of the square, and we're going to press the fabric in towards the middle. Hello, Flo from Cary, North Carolina. How are you? If there are any questions, feel free to toss them out in the chat. How's the machine dust now that you... Oh, that's a good... Okay, so let's talk about that. So, for those of you that have been around my channel for a minute, you know one of the things that I have been complaining about is this machine dust, this graphite dust that gets on my fabric when I'm sewing. And I know several other people that have a Juki, the same model that I have, and they don't have the problem that I have. I know people that have the brother version of this machine, or the Baby Lock version of this machine, or the Janome equivalent to it, and they also don't have this problem with the machine. And so I have spent the better part of about the past year wondering why the heck I see this issue and nobody else does. In March, I took the machine in for its annual service and got her nice and cleaned up and oiled and all that other stuff. I did not take her to a Juki dealer because my machine guy is not a Juki dealer, but I trust him with all of my machines. So I took him in. I took Bubba, the machine, into him, and he did all the cleanup. And I did tell him about the extra dust or graphite or metal shavings. I wasn't even sure what it was, but I did tell him about what I was seeing. And here's what I was seeing for those of you that weren't paying attention, or maybe you weren't here. When I sew, I was getting buildup, some sort of black or dark gray buildup on the presser bar that attached to the foot. So this back here, not where my needle is, the one that's holding the foot and making the foot go up and down. The bar that connects to the presser foot on this machine was getting this black material on it, like this really dark gray, charcoaly, graphite-y looking thing. And if fabric rubbed up against that, if the buildup was so great, was too much, when fabric would even just slightly touch it and come into contact with it, I would get a graphite spot on my fabric. And it was frustrating to no end, because think about, well, it's just frustrating. It doesn't, I don't have to justify why it's frustrating. It's frustrating to get it on your fabric, but it's even more frustrating to get it on fabric when you are at the last stage of a quilt. You're putting the binding on it, and it was intended to be a piece of art, a show quilt that you were never going to wash. You were just going to hang. And now you've got that graphite spot on there. It's a little disheartening, to say the least. I had gotten to the point last month where I seriously, if I could not get this resolved, I was going to switch and go back to baby lock. I was going to be done. I sent an email in to Juki. I used their support request back in March or April, something like that. And I told them what I was seeing. I explained everything. And I got like one sentence back that was like, it said, "You're over oiling your machine. We can't tell you how often to oil it because we don't know how often you sew." I was like, what, how is it an over oiling problem? And I know several people in the chat had said, "You're over oiling your machine as well." So I got on the phone and talked with David from Juki Junkies. I think I even had some text messages with Chiankum and Brody from So Yeah. I really needed help figuring this out. How often do I oil the machine? If it's over oiled, how do I know if it's over oiled? And what do I do about it? And so I got lots of information about all the things that I can figure out, or all the things that I can look at. And I did all of those things, and I didn't oil the machine for 3 months at Juki's recommendation. So April goes by, May goes by, June goes by, and July, I'm at retreat. And I've got gunk built up again. And right before I left for retreat, I was binding a wall quilt that I had intended to put in a show, but we ended up giving it as my mom's gift to her secret sister. And no, it was a baby quilt. I was binding a baby quilt that had white fabric in it, and wouldn't you know it, I got graphite spots on the quilt as I was binding it, and I was so disheartened because I did not have time to treat the spot with Grandma's spot remover, which does get it out, and wash the baby quilt before we left for retreat. So I had to give her a quilt that was finished but had a spot on it, and she had to treat. And that just kind of broke my heart. So I was frustrated. And when I left to go to retreat, I told them, or I told my mom, I was like, I'm pulling the plug. I'm going back to baby lock. At least if I have problems with baby lock, the baby lock dealer is 15 minutes from my house, because the nearest Juki dealer, by the way, is 3 hours away from me. So I'll just do that. Well, go to retreat. On my way down to retreat, I called the nearest Juki dealer, explained to them what was going on, thinking that maybe I needed to have a Juki representative look at the machine. And they got me in touch with Juki itself. And I got an email while I was away, and I replied to it with all of the information and pictures and all the things. And I got another response. And so this last weekend, I was on the phone with Tiffany, and while we were talking, I got the reply back from the guy over at Juki, and I was explaining what was happening, and I was showing Tiffany what was happening on my machine up close, like in real time over this video chat that we were having. And so she went to her Juki and did the same thing, and she wasn't getting what I was getting. So here's what we did. he had me open this up and remove a couple of screws and take a look at some things and send him pictures. So I did that. And then once I put it back together, I cleaned off this bar back here that's holding the presser foot real good. I wiped that sucker down. There was nothing on it. And then I ran the machine dry. No threaded needle, no bobbin in there. And I just ran it at top speed for probably 5 or 10 minutes. And then I wiped it and not a single speck of dust was on the back of this. So I was like, okay, I don't think it's the needle. I don't think it's the act of actually physically sewing that's causing this. So I did another test. I sat here with my knee lift and I made the presser foot bar go up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down about a gazillion times over the course of about 2 or 3 minutes. And then I wiped the back of it, and lo and behold, there was all the graphite dust on the back of the presser bar. So I sent that information into Juki, and they're like, okay, do this. And they sent back an email, and they're like, take a look at this pad. Is it dirty? And I opened the machine and took a picture of it. It was black. There was a lot of stuff on it. And so he was like, wash it or clean it out with alcohol. And then just make sure that you're only oiling the machine 1 drop. I think he said every 2 to 3 months. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look at the email. So I cleaned off not just that, but all the wicks in the machine too with alcohol, made sure everything was nice and clean. And then I re-oiled the machine, and I've been sewing on it. And I'm going to show you, because I haven't done it since I did this. When I wipe, oh gosh, let it be nothing. Well, there's a teeny bit there, but I've sewn quite a bit. So it's not as bad as it was. I think the buildup was on that pad. So it's yeah, the pad that's in there has a ton of stuff on it. And so when the presser foot bar goes up into the machine, it's picking up some of that gunk and it's bringing it back down, and it's staying on here. And if it gets too much, it's transferring to my fabric. So I know what's causing the issue now. So how is it working since we figured that out and we cleaned it out, Tiffany? I haven't really done a lot of sewing. I've done a little bit, but you can see how much is there. Is it time to clean the pad again? Well, actually, I just cleaned it like on Sunday. So if I have to open this machine, and I haven't, or Saturday or Sunday or whenever we talk, I haven't sewn all week. Really. I think there was maybe one evening where I sewed for an hour. So if I've got to clean that pad every hour that I sew, we got a different problem. So I think if it's on there, it might just be that I didn't clean the pad well enough because it was really hard to get to. So we'll say that. All right. That was step 2. So I've got these little strip units made. I'm going to set them over here. And now, oh no, I'm not. I'm going to bring them back out, and we're going to make some fun things. So we're going to put this in the middle, and then we're going to take the unit that we made in step 1. We're going to make 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to set it up so we have a square coming up here and a square coming down here. We're going to sew that together like a little 9 patch. So I'm going to go to the overhead camera while I'm doing that so that you can see what I am doing. There we go. So this is what I'm doing here. Now these seams, it looks like, according to the instructions, they should nest. So I'm going to worry about nesting my seam before I worry about lining up the raw edges on the outside. That'll just make sure that my points look really good. Here we go. And this, by the way, all of these seams are going to be pressed down. So I'm going to press it down just like this. I'm going to do it first with my finger, and then I'll come back in with a hot iron and do it after I'm done. So I'm going to line up those seams. But the machine sounds great. It is sewing well. I just don't know about the dust. So we'll see what happens. I'll slide that down too. I do think, so take a look at this for me or with me. I did not size my pieces down I did not trim these units down to where they should have been trimmed down. And I've got a little bit of wonkiness kind of going on the sides. So I think what I'm going to do before I go any further is I'm going to press this flat, following the instructions that are in the pattern. I'm going to press this nice and flat, and then I'm going to measure to see if this unit squares or can be squared to where it's supposed to be. And if it can't, and I'm going to mess it up, then now's a great time for me to rip those stitches and fix it. This should square to 4.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to grab my 4.5-inch ruler. And I'm looking for that 45-degree line that's on my square ruler, and I'm making sure that it goes through each of the corners on opposite ends of the block. And I'm looking around to make sure that I've got fabric extending off of all 4 sides of the block. I do. So I'm just going to go ahead and square this one up. Oof, I really don't like that. It rocks too much on the seams. I'm going to grab my Quilter Select ruler. It's amazing how quickly I've been spoiled by these Quilter Select rulers. They're amazing. Ah, that's so much better. Okay, 4.5 inches. It didn't move at all. There we go. And now I'm going to turn it. And I'm going to clean up the side. Okay, so it looks like my method that I followed when I put this one together will work. I don't have to square up all of these other units before I put them together, as long as I'm making sure that these seams right here nest. Is that pad something that can be replaced so you could start over? Asking because I have a Juki also, not the problem. Oh, maybe it could be. And maybe that's what I will do. What I'm worried about is I don't know how to replace the pad. I don't know if that's something that a Juki rep has to do. And I really don't want to drive 3 hours to take it into a Juki representative that has to do it. So that's a great question. And maybe I'll email tech support and ask them, like, I can't get the pad completely clean. Can I order a new one? Great thought. Fred said, or Jane says, I really enjoyed the interview with Greenland Quilter that the Greenland Quilter did with you. She had a lot of good questions, and I learned a lot about your quilting history. Thank you both for the interview. You're welcome. She's in the chat, I think. So if somebody wants to, like, she should be here. I think I saw her earlier saying but I don't know what the was for. I just said If you guys want to check out her channel, I'm sure one of the moderators will drop her channel link for you. Or you can just type Greenland Quilter in YouTube and her channel should pop up. I sew in a Juki 2020. I've checked the tension, never had this with thicker thread with the bag making. It's not every time, but we'll try not using the thread cutter. Maybe? Tiffany thinks. Okay, so that must have been for Tiffany. Got it. Move this out of the way. Pull this over here. I'm going to sew first all of these pieces, and then I will press, and then I will trim. I am taking the time to nest the seams on either side of this so that I'm keeping those points nice and crisp. Oops, this is the top. I'm watching reruns of The Masked Singer while I'm in my room working and sewing and doing all of the things. And I'm watching season 7. I won't spoil anything for those of you that like to watch them in binges like I do. I wait for a season to fully air, and then I binge the whole season. Because I can't stand to wait. Like, don't make me wait for the next week. So the reason why I've got that song stuck in my head is because the episode that I just watched, one of the performers sang that song. Shake, 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 Sonora. Shake your body. Like, so it's stuck in my head. I got an earworm. And now I'm going to give it to all of you. You're welcome. What made you change to a Juki? Did you not like using the baby lock? Dorothy asked. So, great question. I do like the baby lock. I still have the baby lock. But comparing the baby lock to the Juki, it's not the same thing because they are completely different beasts that do different things. I love the baby lock because it does everything for you. It has literally an automatic threader for you press the button, it threads the machine. It warns you when the bobbin's about to run out, and it does all of the stitches, and it has a nice big throat space, and it's extremely well lit. It's a very nice machine. My mom, when we moved to this house, I knew Mom was going to be moving in at some point in the future, and I knew that she wanted to sew. We didn't know when she was moving in. We had a date. That date has passed. She's still not moved in. Yeah, Mom, answer that one. Just teasing. But she's still not moved in, but she does spend a lot of time up here, and she likes to sew with me. I did not have a second machine. All I had was that baby lock. So I was in the market for another machine. But this time, I wanted to do something a little different. The baby lock Aria that I sew on, I think is like a $2,500 or $3,000 machine. It's not terribly expensive, but it's pricey. And I knew I did not want to spend that much money on a second machine. I knew Mom needed to have one that had all the bells and whistles. So I knew enough that she was probably going to have to take my baby lock, and I would likely have to replace my main machine. Well, when I thought about what it is I do in here, what I use my machine for, I thought about it. I have a long arm, so I don't need a big throat space for quilting because everything goes on the long arm. I'm not going to wrestle something under the throat when I've got a long arm, and I'm not going to bother basing something when I've got a long arm and I can put it up there. I also knew that I never really, like 99.999% of the time, I'm using a straight stitch on that baby lock. I'm not playing with the decorative stitches. I barely even play with the zigzag. And I also knew that the baby lock would be here if I ever needed it. So thought about that. And then I thought about, what do I want out of my next machine? Well, I want the straight stitch to be faster. And I want to be able to handle a lot of thick layers for when I play with bags or do other fun things like that. And I've watched the online community explode with the Juki. Like every content creator I feel like I see has the Juki. So the guys over at So Yeah called me and asked me, they had just started becoming a Juki dealer. They had called and asked if I would be willing to try one out. Well, I had my eyes on this model, and I said yes. They offered to let me try it for 90 days, and if I didn't like it, I could send it back, no questions asked, but at least I would know that that's the machine I wanted or didn't want. And I thought, okay, challenge accepted. So they sent the machine to me, and I think within the week I knew I wasn't sending it back. That's why I went with Juki, is because they offered to let me try it first, and that's what I ended up with. And I will say, I do like it. I just I got frustrated with the graphite thing. Now, that graphite issue that I'm having, I will let you in on a little secret. I hate to admit this, but it's the truth. So when I first got my machine, and I've told this to Juki, and so everybody, like, this isn't anything that I've been hiding from Juki. When I first got the machine, I did not know any better. I thought I had to oil it right out of the box. I didn't need to, but I thought I had to. And I got this little bottle of oil, and I opened it up, and I knew that I had these 4 holes on the top of the machine that I needed to put oil in, and then 2 holes in the bed of the machine. So I get this little bottle and I'm thinking that these are oil reservoirs, like there's a little bucket down in there. So when I'm putting oil into those top holes, it will eventually cap off. It'll eventually top off and I'll know that it's full because that's what I was seeing kind of happening down here a little bit, right? I could top it off. That's not what it is. You're literally oiling wicks that are inside the top of the machine. So any excess oil that you put in there drips down into the machine and it can seep through and cause a mess. And so what I think had happened is I way over oiled the machine because I took this little bottle and it came completely full, ready to go. It should have lasted me forever, but I emptied it into the top of the machine. I have since learned that Juki, and I don't know why it works this way, but it does. If you over oil your machine, the wicks that are inside of here that hold that moisture, they turn black. They're supposed to be like a yellow in color. If they're white, it means they're dry. If they're black, it means they are way over oiled. So they're not black anymore because I've dried them out and done things. I've learned about that oiling, but this pad down here, I wonder if the issues I've been having with this is really from having over oiled the machine in the past. So let that be a lesson to you. All that to say, I don't think it was an issue with the Juki. I think the issues I have is because I mishandled the machine. Yeah, that was fun. I think I saw Nicole in the chat too. Did I say hi to Nicole? I can't remember. Oopsies, it rocked around a little bit. Oops, hold on. This one's skewed a couple of threads, and while it's not that big of a deal, leaving it off by just a couple of those threads, these points aren't lined up, leaving that off is causing my block to not perfectly square up. I could leave it, I would be fine, everything would be okay, but I could also fix it right now by ripping just one small seam and re-sewing it. So I think I'm going to rip one small seam and just re-sew it. If it had already been sewn into the block, I would have left it alone, but I caught it right now and I'm going to fix it. What does the pad do? Don't know, Jan. I don't know. I'm guessing that it's there to collect oil and shavings and other things from inside the machine as it drips down, because it's right at the bottom of the coils where this presser foot bar goes up and down. So I'm guessing it's there to collect stuff. But that would be a great question for Juki. Do not know. Yes, Nancy. Nancy says, so we get to learn from your mistakes. That's right. Look at it that way. Don't over oil your Juki. For the Juki, what they told me is the wicks need to be oiled based on time, not amount, like not number of stitches. So they said, I think it's one drop up here and in here. So all the 6 holes, it's 1 drop of oil every like 2 to 3 months, I think is what they said. And then the bobbin area, every time you change the bobbin, it's 1 drop into the bobbin area. Anything more than that, they consider over oiling. I know Tiffany oils a whole lot more than that, but Tiffany sews like nonstop. I think she wakes up, turns on the machine, and it runs from the time she wakes up to the time she goes to bed, if she goes to bed. So Tiffany's rules do not apply to the rest of the world. I've learned that. All right, so there we go. There's our 4 pieces. Did you make my pressing board? No, I did not. I bought this one when I was in Lancaster with Donna and her friends. It's at the Old Country store in Intercourse, Pennsylvania. I believe they have an online shop. Somebody actually emailed me that they bought the same exact one. So you can buy this online. It's just under $50. And these last forever. I actually had one that I gave to a lady by the name of Shelly, I think, while we were in Lancaster. I gave her my old one that I had just recovered. So this, the wood under it lasts forever. You can just keep recovering it, take the other one off, put this new one on. The last one I had for years. All right, so now we've got this. These are done. We're going to set those aside. We're going to take these pieces, and it looks like we're going to make 4 flying geese units. So we're going to do the stitch and flip method to build these out. And then I'll go back up to the overhead shot so you can see what I'm sewing. I have the Juki 2010Q as well. I can hear when she needs to be oiled. She starts making a clunking sound. There you go. See, I was always so worried because I went from a computerized machine that I never had to oil. I never had to do any of that with. And I was worried I was going to miss it. And I thought it was better to over oil than under oil. And they actually said it's better to under oil than to over oil. I don't know why. Something about if the oil gets into the electronics, it can fry stuff out. That's what they said. But they said over oiling is actually worse for the machine. That still kind of doesn't compute in my brain. That's like somebody saying too much water is a bad thing, but just listening to what they said. Donna said Lancaster was awesome. It was. I really enjoyed that trip. It was a lot of fun. Donna, and I think Donna, you have a couple of spots available for that next year, right? Is that, or is it full? I'll wait for her to reply. Tangle says, how did you clean the wicks? I have a singer that is about 90 years old. It has oil wicks. I'm guessing they need to be cleaned before I use it. So I just took rubbing alcohol and some paper towel and I dried them out and wiped them down. I didn't do it thoroughly, but I did enough to kind of like get the wicks nice and cleaned and dried out. And then I actually added 2 drops of oil along the top. I think maybe it even might have been 3. Not to over oil the machine, but to get those wicks moist with oil again because I had dried them out severely with the rubbing alcohol. Before I put everything back together, I did touch them to make sure that they just had a little bit of oil to them. So what happens are those wicks sit down inside the machine, and I'll go back to the face cam. The wicks sit down inside the machine, and as you put the drop of oil in these holes, the oil goes on the wick, and those wicks just like barely brush up against the parts of the machine that are moving in there. It's not meant to grease it like you would with lube and stuff. It's meant just to apply just a teeny bit of oil as the metallic parts move. And I'm totally speaking like I know what I'm talking about, and I think I'm making half of it up. I've assumed that that's what happens. I'm just saying, like, if I'm wrong, don't come for me. 6 spots open if any. There you go. So that's what Donna's talking about is her. I didn't want to talk about it until I knew what she said. Thank you, Tiffany, for telling me I'm right. See, I do listen when you talk about the insides of your machines. Tiffany's very mechanically inclined, and she shared a lot about how to work. She's had these taken completely apart before. And she's shown me pictures and videos and talked. And I think sometimes she thinks that I'm not paying attention. Look, I paid attention. Anyway, what Donna is talking about is in June of 2024. I can't remember the dates, but I'm sure she'll put them in the chat if you're interested. She is hosting a retreat for her, so it seems, online guild. She has a little online guild. It's completely free to join. She calls it the So It Seems crew. And they get together at the Nut House in Walnut Port, Pennsylvania. I believe in June of 2024, they're getting together from Tuesday through Sunday. So checking in Tuesday late afternoon, like 3, 4 o'clock, and then checking out at 5 p.m., probably earlier, maybe like 3 or 4 o'clock, so that they have time to clean up on that Sunday. And she usually organizes a charity event during that time for everybody to work on. This year, everybody focused on Project Dress a Girl. Everybody made those. And then you bring your own projects too. So, and everybody just kind of sits and listens to music and snacks a lot and eats a lot of food and has a really good time. In June of 2024, she has 6 spots for that available. And I think the price per person is $525 with a $100 deposit due by August 15th. So if you're interested in a retreat in Pennsylvania, you can email Donna. We say it's Lancaster, but if I'm being honest, it's like an hour and a half away from Lancaster. So just know that it's like, it's not like step outside your door and you're in Lancaster. It's a little bit of a drive. Hello, Sean. There you go. Donna's put it in the chat. June 11th to June 16th, $525 per person. There you go. Perfect. Thank you, Donna. Where in PA? It's in a little town called Walnutport. About an hour and a half outside of Lancaster. Hello, Heather. How's the new baby? Which Juki model did you get? Me? I have the Juki 2010 TLQ. All right, now we'll press these. Eating. Heather said the baby's good. He's eating, so I have half a hand to type with. You're very welcome, Donna. Oh, and by the way, I didn't call this out before. Should have. $525 per person. What does that get you? It gets you lodging for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 nights. Lodging for 5 nights, plus all of your meals and some snacks. They cook breakfast, they have kind of like a grab and go for lunch, and then they provide dinner too. And I think they're going to do an annual thing where they do a turkey dinner with all the fixings every year. Last year we did that, and think we're doing it again, so it's almost like a Friendsgiving in June when she gets all the crew together. All right, so I have my flying geese made. Now I'm going to move on to the next step, which is going to make flying geese units with this and this, although that doesn't look right to me. Let me make sure that these are cut the right way because they're bigger. And I kept cutting things at 2 and, yep. E, no. E, yeah. F, okay. So H. That's right. This is right. So that's the right size. Literally checking as we go. And that is the right size. So what if I just do 1 and 1? Maybe I just saw the pile. Oh, yep, it's good. We're all good. I thought that these were a 1/2 inch bigger because they're all kind of splayed out. They're not. Everything's good. So I'm going to make a little stack so I can just take it to the machine and sew without having to arrange my fabrics too much. Just joined. What are you working on? I am putting together block number 2 for the Fat Quarter Shop Designer Mystery Block of the Month. It's going to look like that when it's all put together, and these are the pieces that I've already built out. So that's what I am working on. Right now I am making the second set of flying geese units because we're going to use those to build out these 4 sections. And then once those sections are done, it's basically just going to be putting a 9 patch together, it looks like. Oh, nope. I'm sewing straight and I should be sewing at an angle so that I get my stitch and flip. Oh, but I'm going to cut that off anyway, so I don't even need to worry about that. Okay. Greenland Quilter says, I am patiently waiting for my kit and such to arrive. It's going to be a long wait. You must be talking about Carnival for Puzzle Mystery Quilt. Elizabeth said her petting zoo is arriving tomorrow. Ian, I think, is doing petting zoo. The Tula Pink, that's a Tula Pink one. His hasn't arrived yet. I think it's on schedule to be there Monday or Tuesday of next week. And he's eagerly waiting for that too. So that'll be fun. Pattern isn't working. Sorry, I didn't set that up. So if it, yeah, it's going to give you the link to the layer cake pop quilt. I didn't program it to point to this. But if you want a link to the Fat Quarter Shop, I can give you an affiliate link to the Designer Mystery program. I don't know if it's sold out. It might be. This is a yearly thing that starts in June and runs through, I think, May of the following year. No. Yeah, June. Because this is month number 2 and I got it in August. Donna's put her email in the chat for those of you that are interested in the retreat. It's donna@handmadebyying.com. I'll try to put that in the show notes down below for anybody that's watching the replay. Those spots, though, are limited. So if you want to really reserve your spot, because also, by the way, it's no refunds. That deposit is non-refundable. So if you pay your $100 deposit and you can't go, she's not guaranteeing that you're going to get your money back. I think it's only if the spot can get sold and she can recoup that money, then she'll get it back or something like that. I don't know. But work out the details with her. Just if you really want to be taken seriously, the best way to get your name on the list is to email her and get her her money ASAP. All right, there's the half of these. Now we're going to put the stitch and flip on the other side, just like this. The audio is sounding better, yeah, since I got rid of that lapel mic and I just have the Rode clipped to my collar. That it's sounding better, right? I guess I should have asked that an hour ago. Maybe I did. Maybe I'm just forgetful. Sounds great. Awesome. Thank you. I have to go back and listen to the replay to see what it sounded like. Was it just like a tapping or scratching when the microphone was hitting the... I don't know. It doesn't matter. I know what the culprit is, and we have thrown it in the trash can. Gidget1109 said the petting zoo fabric is gorgeous. Oh, sorry. She said beautiful. I was kind of sad. I think Ian agrees with me on this one. I would have liked to see them do a colorway with Everglow. Oh, that would have been great, because I would have been like, sorry, Ian, I'm doing Tulip Pink this time. But he didn't. Anna Noel is doing lavender too and impatiently waiting for clue 6 and 7. Oh, lavender's behind for the village green. That happens sometimes. Fabric that you need to ship. It sounded crackly. Got it. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. Oh, you know, I forgot. Nah, we're going to push it off. I need to push it off. We'll wait. Hello, Robin. I was going to tell you, actually, I can talk about it. I just haven't set it up yet. We crossed over 20,000 subscribers this week. Like, it happened over the weekend. Super excited about that. And we need to do a giveaway, but we're not doing that on a live stream because I want everybody to have a chance to enter for this. And so what will happen is in the next week or so, it'll probably be announced in Tuesday's video. So you'll want to make sure to tune in for that. I'll have all of the details for how you sign up for a giveaway that I am having on my website to celebrate 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. So you'll have some time, everybody will have time to fill out the form, and then I'll pull a winner during a live stream. You won't have to be present to win, but that's what we're going to be doing. So yay. Thank you, Tiff. All right, so now we're going to sew these together. Yep, to make a unit that looks like that. So here's my trick for this. I'm going to put these right sides together, and then to make sure I don't lose the point on the bottom piece, I'm going to sew with the bottom on top so I can see that X intersection where all of the threads kind of come to a point. Get it? Point. And I'm going to stay right, like one thread right to the right of that, so that when I press this over, just like this, let's see, moment of truth, does this work? And which way am I pressing this, by the way? Up. Okay. When I press this over, I don't lose that point. Look how perfect that is. I know the fabric for this designer mystery is so beautiful. I was saying that earlier when I started the live stream. The pictures of this fabric, I could kind of, I think this is Sunny Side Up by, maybe that's the name of it. Sunnyside, that's what it's called, by Camille Ross Kelly. This is her second fabric line without her mom. Her mom has retired. But when I saw the pictures of it, I was like, I think I could probably give or take. Like, it's not, I don't know if I loved it as much as Dwell. But I wanted to do the Fat Quarter Shop Designer Mystery. I've done it every year, except for 2021. I have some of them, all of them behind me have not been finished, but I am going to finish them this year. I am going to, that's my goal, is all of my block of the month designer mysteries will be finished this year. So hold me to that. At least, okay, let's define finished. The quilt tops will be made. I don't know if they'll be quilted. So I'm working really hard to get my Fat Quarter Shop block of the months all caught up and ready for quilting. I didn't do 2021. I wasn't going to do 2023. But then I thought, you know, if I'm not going to buy the Fat Quarter bundle of this fabric, I could just buy the kit. And then I have a quilt made with the fabric, because I wasn't sure if I loved it enough to buy the fabric. But I do like the block of the months from Fat Quarter Shop. And I figured if nothing else, I could give this to a loved one as a gift. And then I got the first clue and I was like, huh, I like the fabric. In person, I like it a whole lot better than online. Are we pressing this up? Yes, yes we are. Okay. Just had to make sure I was doing it the right way. Oopsies. Look at how beautiful these clues are. Isn't that great? Hello, Shirley. Mamie says, I thought you had a loose connection where it plugged it in. It wasn't the mic on your shirt because it crackled worse when you unplugged it. Oh. It might have, okay. That's helpful. Thank you. It could be a short in the cord. And those lapel plugins that go into this, they're a dime a dozen. So, you know, I don't take really good care of the cords and those pieces of equipment. So it's entirely possible that I had a short in the cord, maybe in the end or something. That would explain a whole lot. That would explain a whole lot. Huh. Because I've even had, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Sometimes you just say the one thing, you're like, oh, got it. Now everything makes sense. My favorite line she did alone was the first one she did, Nantucket Summer. I love that one the best. Yes, that was the fabric that was used for 2022's Block of the Month, and I have all of the clues. And I couldn't do that one as it was shipping, because here's what happened. My friend Karen signed up for the 2022 Block of the Month because it had Nantucket in it, and that was her she loved that fabric line. And so she signed up for it. Well, when we went to retreat last year, we went into a quilt shop and they had one of the boxed kits with Nantucket in it, and she absolutely loved that too. And of course she had a fat quarter of it, and she had this of it, and then she bought that kit of it too. And she took it home and she realized she bought all the things of Nantucket and she only wanted to make one quilt. And so we had opted at the quilt shop to trade. I bought the boxed kit from the quilt shop that was packaged from Moda, and I gave it to her. And then she collected all 12 of the clues. I had to buy my own backing kit and finishing kit because those were extra. She collected all the clues and gave them to me this past summer when we went to retreat. So now I have all 12 of those clues. So that's kind of got me on a get the block of the months done, because these blocks come together really, really, really quickly too. So, all right, speaking of coming together really quickly, I've got all of the elements that I need to put this together. So let's just go ahead and lay it out according to what the pattern design says. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that all of these flying geese units are kind of pointing away so that we're building out kind of like a diamond shape. So we're going to do that on all four sides. This blue piece that's standalone will go in the center here, just like this. And then these are going to be the cornerstones. So we're going to set it up so that they're coming, oh, nope, they're going like this. Okay. And then this is going like that. So they're kind of framing around the diamond. Like that. And then like that. So that's our block. And now we're just going to sew our 3 rows together. This row will be the easiest to sew. So I'm going to sew this one first. And that's because there's no seams or points to nest. It looks like for this one, we're going to press the fabric in towards that center square. So I'll just finger press that now, and then I'll grab this next piece. I think your outside blocks are not in the right position. Should it point in? No. This is what it looks like. I will double and triple check just to make sure, but it's going this way, that way. So it's making a diamond around the diamond. It's like echoing the diamond. No points to nest here either with the way this is put together. That's genius. And this will press away from the center piece. And the reason, look at this. This seam comes right in the middle here, so there's no seams to nest on that row. What do you guys think? Should I work on the 2023 blocks on live streams as I get them? I'm happy to do, I think I might. This is such an easy thing to sew. And it gives me something to work on that I can easily just do while I'm talking with you guys. I think the rest of the clues might be on live streams. How do I find out if I'm still a member of your premium channel? I can't find it. I thought I joined it for $50 a year, but I can't tell. Can you tell me how? Hi, Pam. So what you're talking about is the VIP program. I think $55 a year. Does that sound right? That's on my website over at sewbecca.com. It is separate from YouTube. Everything on YouTube is free. All of my videos are free. They will remain free. There is an option, though, to support the YouTube channel. You can help support financially by joining channel memberships, and that just allows your name to pop up in live streams and in my comments feed with visually different than everybody else's. So you can see Karen Little has a little icon next to hers and her name is green. That's because she's paying every month a little tip to have her name show up differently in my live streams. But it is different than the VIP program on my website. If you want to make sure that you are in the VIP program and you can't figure out how to log in or whatever, just email me at becca@sewbecca.com, and when I'm off live stream, it'll probably be tomorrow, I'll take a look and see if I can help you. Karen says, it's so nice to see the blocks come together. So yes, please do them on a live stream. Absolutely. Happy to do that. It's always easier too when you're like, okay, this is a ready-made project that I'm just going to sew on a live stream. I don't have to overthink about it. Like, here's my fabric, here's my pattern. All I got to do is starch and cut the pieces for a single block and then just put the block together. I think that'd be great. Hello, Susan. All right, now I've got my 3 rows built out and we're going to attach those 3 rows together. And the only seam that I have to nest is what's around here. That's genius because this isn't going to nest anywhere. So I just need to make sure that I'm nesting my seams with that center square. And I'm probably going to use a couple of clips to hold everything together while I take this over to the machine and sew it. Super cool. Jason's outside walking the dogs and he's carrying a flashlight around because it's so dark out there. I don't know why he just didn't turn on the lights outside. We've got floodlights. We could have turned those on. Or maybe he sent Parker out. My nephew, my sister and her kids, both of her children, are visiting. So maybe my nephew's walking the dogs. I don't know. All right, once this is all put together, we're going to press the seams away from that middle row. Oh yeah, I heard about Brandon. Teresa's husband had a procedure done today and everything went well. So Yes, that was really good news. I don't have all the details, so people are telling Katie they love her new name, Greenland Quilter. I think it's a step in the right direction. I personally think it's fabulous. This is my last scene, and then my block is all put together. So I'll get to give it a nice press and then fold it back up and put it away. There we go. Hi, Becca. I so enjoyed your recent retreat videos. You talked about virtual retreats. Do you have a plan for pending ones coming up soon? Hi, Grandma. So we actually just had one this past weekend, and it was a blast. We have another one planned for October 27th to, October 27th to October 28th. It's a Saturday, Sunday. We're going to start Saturday morning and we will end Sunday evening. I learned from this one that my starting on Fridays is a little too much. I will be happy to carry it over into a Monday if the Monday happens to coincide with a holiday. So we're going to do a fall themed one. And the project that we'll be working on in that fall themed retreat, if everything comes together the way I believe it's going to, we're going to have one of our VIP members lead us through turning a crew neck sweatshirt into a quilted jacket. What? Is that amazing? See, I don't always have to be the one teaching the things. There's so much talent in that community that others can teach too. So she showed us on one of our monthly Zooms the quilted jacket that she made. And I was like, would you like to teach that at an upcoming retreat? She was like, yes, I would love to. So we'll be doing that in October. So this is my block when it's all done. I think it looks like the picture, and I think it looks better than the picture. What do you guys think? There we go. So, just about an hour and 20 minutes to put this together, and that did include time to talk and deal with mic issues and all the technology. Yeah. Kayla Quilt says, that's awesome. How do I join? !VIP will get you the link to my VIP program on my website. $5 a month. If you pay for the whole year in advance, you get it for $55 a month. So you pay for 11 months and you get 12. You're right. The picture does not do it justice. Right, Wanda? Like, this block is absolutely stunning. I am going to do all of these blocks on a live stream. I am. I'm going to finish this quilt. I will not do the finishing setting on a live stream. You'll have to see how the quilt comes together in a edited video, but I will do each of the blocks once a month on a live stream. I'm really pleased with how this came together. I can't stop petting it. That's how you know you really like the fabric. You're just like, I said, hey, earlier when I heard Becca announce that you were here. Yay! Hello, Jennifer's telling Susan hi. I said hi to you earlier. Oh my goodness. I love this bottle. It holds like, how much does it hold? I don't know. But it is a polar bear. I don't know, whatever. It's amazing. It's polar camel, double wall, stainless steel, double wall insulated cup. I love my water mugs. And it has a straw in here, like that. It's leak proof, so you can carry it around by the little handle, but you just flip this up to drink out of it. Oh my gosh, this thing's game changer. And there's enough water in there that it lasts me for a little while, but it keeps water cold for a minute. Like, really nice. I like it. And the color is gorgeous. It matches my walls. Apparently 32 ounce. That sounds great. So I've been trying to drink more water, which is why this is here. I usually only drink water, but over the past couple months, I feel like I've been opening sodas more frequently, and I don't really love them. I do like a good Sprite. I like the clear sodas, though, and root beer. I like root beer and Dr. Okay, whatever. But my Sprite, I think, is my go-to. I've been drinking Sprite Zeros and Coke Zeros a little too frequently, and I want to up my water intake. So I'm trying to get through 2 of these a day, and this is my second one, and I'm going to be up for a few more hours, so I think I'll make it. That's about 64 ounces because it's a 32-ounce container. So yay, I'm a water girl. I know. See, here's when we moved into the. This is hilarious. So when we were looking for our house. I told my realtor that one of my requirements was the house must have a fridge that has a water dispenser and an ice dispenser in the fridge. And she was like, you could buy one of those after you buy the house. I was like, no, the house has to have one already. I will drink, I like water, but I like the water to be cold. So we got, well, we do have a fridge that has the ice and the water dispenser in it, and I absolutely stinking love it. But we have well water, and so we have a whole house filtration system so that all the water in our house is potable. You could drink the water out of the toilet if you wanted to. Wouldn't recommend it, but the water that's coming into that toilet is perfectly fine. But we also have a water softener system, which adds salt to the water and makes it nice and soft. And by the way, taking a shower with soft water, oh, that, like, the first couple times I did it, I was like, why is my hair so soft? It was great. But it has another benefit. It also prolongs, like, because the water is hard here naturally, so the water softener helps. It prolongs, like, all of the equipment and the appliances and stuff. But the other thing that it does, the ice ends up being like that soft nugget ice. Not right away. When I put the ice in a beverage, right away it's hard, just like normal ice. But after sitting in the beverage for about 5 minutes, it's chewable, just like the ice at Sonic or Chick-fil-A. And that's an added bonus. So, yeah. Oh, as Pat says, I like ice water with just a tiny squirt of iced tea mix. That's nice. Auntie L. Lori says, I drink coffee all day, no soda. Water is my main drink, Jake Heitland says. I like cold filtered water. That's it. Can you tell me about the added light in your machine? I need one. Oh, yeah, let's talk about this. So this is a new find for me, but I've had it for a while. So it's portable. I could literally put it anywhere. It has 3 settings, high. Oh, that was low. It's low, medium, high, off. It recharges through USB-C, and these green dots that are on here, which I can give you the overhead so you can see it a little bit more. These green dots that are on it tell you how charged it is. So this is fully charged. It has this little, you'll have to see in the face cam, it has this little thing that attaches through like a 3M strip to wherever you want to put it, so that you can dock it somewhere, but you can pick it up and carry it around. I had one of those sewing machine LED lights. You know what I'm talking about, that come up and come around the throat of your machine? I had one on here and it was great, but it was more light than I needed, and I never really turned it on. Oh, it would a lot of times blow out my videos, but I do want a little bit of extra light in here for when I'm sewing, because I get shadows, right? I have really good lighting in this room, but now I battle the shadows. So I get a lot of shadows when I'm working on the machine, and sometimes it can be a little frustrating, and I just want to get rid of the shadows. As I get older, my eyes change and shadows become a thing that I don't want to deal with. And I think that's a normal course of aging. I don't know. But more importantly, while I was at retreat, I realized how dimly lit the Juki really is compared to like the baby lock that I had. And so I bought a couple of slimline portable LED lights that I could put on my desk, and they recharge through USB. But this, I forgot I even had. So when I bought my Caterpillar at the Sewing Expo in the fall of last year, they had these little LED lights for sale. It is from Caterpillar, and they gave me one for free. I think it's like 20 bucks maybe, I don't know. Rechargeable. I slide it in over here just like this. It can run off of USB, so I can plug it in through USB-C, which is what I was doing to charge it. But I can also just run it off battery. And when I turn it on, I can flex it, point it wherever I need it to be. It's just enough light to get rid of the shadows under there. Look how nice and bright that is. So that's on low, that's on medium, and that's on high. I don't need it all the way up on high. Low is perfectly fine. It does not run forever. I don't even think I'll get 24 hours on low, but I can plug it in and I can get all the time in the world. So that's it. It's a Caterpillar. It's from Caterpillar. I love it. You're welcome, Michigan Gal. I had one of those LED lights too, but it kept peeling off. That was the problem that I had, Shelly. I had one on here and the cord kept getting in the way, and then up around here where the cord was, it would, like, the fabric would push it, and so then it would get unsticky. After a while it would get unsticky, and it just started bothering me. So I ended up pulling the whole thing off. It was a cheap ad. Did it do what it was supposed to do? Yes. It outlasted, the light outlasted the sticky on the back of it, and it gave you a ton of light, but it was more light than I really needed because my studio is so well lit. I just needed a little something. So if that's all you're looking for, just a little something here because you happen to be able to work in some good lighting, I would recommend this. But if you're working in an area where it's really dark, maybe you're sewing in a basement like I did for a number of years, the other product, the one that comes on tape that goes in here, is really good. I will say the installation for this is a whole lot easier. And this is multi-purpose, right? Like, oh no, the power went out. I got a light. So there's that. Shelly said mine would fall down from on my fabric from overhead. Oh gosh. Grandma says I have the light strip. I got it before my cataract surgery. I think it helped a lot. I have shadows too. I use my strip every time. Hello from Little Red River, Arkansas, says Barney. Hello, hello, hello. All right, so it's 9:29. Let's do a little bit of share. It's been a minute since I've seen what you guys have been working on. Well, spoiler alert, I have seen because I've been looking in the Facebook group, but I've not shared it on YouTube in a minute. So we're going to do our Sew and Tell segment. Usually, I like to do this frequently, but sometimes there are several weeks that go by where I don't get a chance to do this. I like to share what you guys have been working on, whether you're working on it tonight while I'm sewing and you're sewing with me, or it's just something that you worked on recently. This is your chance to tell that story, share that picture, post it to the Facebook group. If you do !Facebook in the chat, you'll get a link to that Facebook group. If you're not a member, you can just request to join. I'll grab you. You'll be in no time flat, and then you can post a picture and I'll share it right here, right now for everybody to see. So, can you spell that? Hi, Karen. I'll do you one better. I'll send you a link. Hold on, let me get the link. There we go. Actually, I can't get the link. It's Caterpillar, Cutterpillar. But what I will do is in the show notes down below, I'll try to find links for that stuff and I'll put it in the show notes. Ooh, I got to remember to do that. Hey, Jamie. Wow, everybody's popping in now that I said we're going to share on Facebook. Y'all ready to go. You're like, yeah, let's share. Let's see what you're working on. I don't know why my voice sounds like that, but it did. You're welcome. All right, that'll work. So here we go. We're in the Facebook group. I'm going to move the chat. Sorry, I got to move the chat over here so that we can see what's going on. Close that, close that. There, now I can see the chat. Missouri Star has the light. Awesome. I have an affiliate link for Missouri Star. Feel free to use it. It's on my website. Also, is it MSQC in the chat? We'll get you the affiliate link. Please feel free to use that affiliate link. All right, 3 new member requests. We'll get you Bonnie, Pamnita, and Ellen. We have all 3 of you. Now we're going to go to the home screen and we're going to start sharing because sharing is caring. I like to change this to new so that I see the most newest post first. Oh, that didn't work. Let me get you, hold on, while we're Give me 1 second because the command isn't working and I don't know why it is not working. Okay. There we go. Now it should work. Exclamation MSQC. And I think it's on Amazon as well. What people are saying, so I'll get you a link to it. Yep, this is it. This is the link. I'll put a link to the item in the chat right here. And this is an affiliate link, by the way, that I'm dropping in there. So I'll get like 2 cents from this. Hi, Yolanda. Maybe a cent. It won't change your price, but I'll get a penny if you use that. All right. So Josie, first project. Are you guys seeing the whole thing? Yes, indubitably you are. That's awesome. Oh, look at the zipper that she's got. Look at that. Some little pockets over here for some thread floss. This is great. She said it was her first project. Oh, and she's got a little matching little caddy over there too. Very pretty. Nice job. Oh, my first project keeper. It's not her first project. So be like, dang, that's really good for your first time. Linda. Hi, Linda. I made this from a layer cake. That's fun. Super pretty. And that, so it's a double-sided. You've got it on the front and on the back. That's cool. Let's see what else we have. Carol Lewis, still working on Becca's tumbling blocks. I like this pattern a lot. I see others in the future. So just really quick, I did drop a pattern this past Tuesday called Tumbling Blocks. I know that this is a super easy pattern, and I know other people have written patterns that look just like it. This is not a copyrighted, like the quilt design isn't copyrighted. The pattern is what's copyrighted. I didn't even think about other people doing it. I was just playing around in pre-quilt and I was like, oh, I like the way this looks. Let's write a pattern for it. And then people are like, oh, Missouri Star has it. Oh, Villa Rose Designs has it. Oh, I saw somebody else do it. Oh, Jordan Fabric. Okay, got it. There's my pattern. I spent time designing, testing, and writing. I did not duplicate on purpose. But this is really cool. It is a very fast sew. Kayla says, working on my Hello Fall quilt tonight. Oh, so pretty. I love it. Oh, so pretty. Look at all those pumpkins. Michigan Gal says, Becca, I just ordered the light. 2 cents in your bank. LOL. Thank you. And by the way, that affiliate link for Amazon that I put out there, you can click that and just save it, or you can go to my website and use it. But that will work for anything. So if you use that link anytime you shop on Amazon, whether you're buying food, laundry detergent, whatever, it will help me out. It doesn't just have to be crafting supplies. It'll help anytime you make a purchase on Amazon, as long as you go in through that link. Juanita says, I finished my modern Irish change and I took some pictures in Bedford, Virginia. I love your dress, first of all. Second of all, I love the truck. But third of all, can we just talk about those colors? I love it. And I love it whenever you do a quilt and set it up so that it feels like you've got circular piecing, but you don't. Is that great? Noelle Ross says, I'm working on my small candy apple tonight. It's so lovely, and I'm so excited to finish already. Bought some lovely fall flannel backing, hoping we still have a few chilly nights upon completion before next fall. Well, this is going to finish in May. April? Yeah, April or May. So might have to wait for a minute, but that's when you'll get clue 10. So you'll have the summer to finish it before. So you'll be using it this time next year. Wait, candy apple. Is that clue? Yeah, that's clue 1 for carnival. That's right. Jennifer says, how many HSTs to press and trim is too many? Prepping for Thimble Blossoms pattern. Cute pattern, but not loving the HST hell I am in. Misty says, close to the finish. Oh, those are so pretty. I actually have that FPP template, that FPP block. I bought it off of Etsy. And I've always wondered about like doing a quilt with those sparkling stars. No, that's not it. That's the vintage kite FPP paper, isn't it? I think so. But either way, it looks very much like another one that I bought. I think that's the foundation paper piecing pad from It's So Emma from Fat Quarter Shop. Caterpillar is where I got my light box. Yes, and it's also who sold the light. Katrina Harris says, feeling crabby quilt top is finished. And if you want to follow her, she is Katie _tries _ quilting on Instagram. I'm sure she would love it if you check out her Instagram. She was working on this over the weekend retreat, and she decided to do something a little bit different. She made all of the crabby blocks, but I don't know if you can tell. I'll make this bigger so we can go in. She created some applique coral and other sea elements to add a different vibe to the quilt. Isn't that great? She just did 4 blocks. She did some seagrass here. She did a little clamshell up here. And then she's got some pieces of coral in there too. I love that. That's so cool. I love the print for the border. That's great. And I think that's the kit that I sold, by the way. I think I might still have a few of those kits available. And we're going to be doing a whatnot sale in a couple of weeks. So I'll bring those out when we do them. Courtney Maddox, waiting for winter's license to chill, stitched out so perfect. You can hit me up if you need this one. Wow, pretty. Oh, that did stitch out really nicely. That's really nice. We're going to refresh the screen, see what else people have shared. It does. Wanda says those extra blocks make that quilt so cool. They do. Ooh, look at this. Stephanie Harris. This is who we call Sassy Stephanie. This is Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilter who has a YouTube channel that I am sure somebody in the chat would, Tiffany maybe, or I think Donna's probably already getting ready for her live stream, but one of the moderators can share her channel. I wish I could just configure it so that anybody could share a channel, but YouTube won't let me do that. So this is what's on her long arm right now. And this is obviously not in her long arm, but that's some stuff that she's worked on. She said the quilt is Starbright by Erica Selman, and the embroidery design is Insect Garden Hanger by Sweet Pea Machine Embroidery. Karen is adding sashing cornerstones to some vintage hand embroidery blocks. The blocks are 12-inch square. Let's just take a look at that embroidery work. Look at that. That's what we call line work, right? And this would be blue line because it's all blue line work. Is that right? I think so. Lynn said, how are the clues used? I'm clueless. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about the puzzle mystery quilt clue or the block that I just made tonight? Katie is making this for a swap partner. I don't know if you can see the quilting and the flower. Still have the bottom part to do. So this is her little flower that she's made. You can kind of see a bit of the quilting. There's some straight line quilting I can see here. And here there's some petals, kind of. It's hard to see because it's a cream color. Oh, there we go. You can see this much better. Look at that, venturing outside into new things. Looks good. Norma is ready to sandwich and quilt. What's in these? Are these geeses? Look at all those flying geese. Oh, I crack me up. Michelle says, I don't think I shared this one. I finished it at a quilting retreat in July. Well, I pieced half of the top there. Still need to quilt it. Look at this. I like zooming in to see as much as I can and kind of scrolling up and down so you guys can see the fabrics too. This looks like a Corey Yoder line. Is this Buttercup and Slate? I'm wondering. Michelle says, this is my latest finish. Friendship pinwheel. Pattern is from Missouri Star. And fabric is back porch from me and my sister designs. Quilted on my domestic machine. I have it on my queen size bed. Oh, look. Let's look at that. Quilting. See, you don't always have to do things that are intricate. This looks really good. Just echoing those pinwheels. I love that. Janine is just finished her rose garden quilt this week. Love it. I like the two-tone yellow for the sashing. It's great. Shelly Ferguson finished quilting this tonight, getting my binding ready. Very cool. Pretty hearts. Wait, did you do a double stitch all the way up? Hold on. Zoom. Oh, no, that's the way the fabric's printed. So those lines that are around the heart, I thought that those were your stitching lines. I was like, oh my gosh, that must have taken a long time to get it perfect like that. Annette says, I'm working through my QOD block of the month. It started in June. So these are Queen of Diamonds is what QOD stands for. This is an EPP project. Wow. I love this. And I don't want to do it. Look at the placement of that bee. Isn't that great? Wow. I can't wait to see it finished. Jess Bentley says, I just finished up these two tops. Pretty. I like that floral print. This looks like a 3-yard, 1, 2, 3, so I guess 4-yard quilt. That's cool. No, it's more than that because there's different prints for the blue. I was wondering if it was a 3-yard quilt from one of those 3-yard quilt books. Puzzle mystery quilt. You were talking about how to use the clues for the puzzle mystery quilt. Okay, we saw both of those. All right, so the puzzle mystery quilt, Lynn, is just a 10-month block of the month from Cotton Cuts. All the pieces that you get for your clues are die cut. Oh wow, Kayla says, this is not a great picture, but I did get the rooster done. I need a good tutorial for adding a sleeve for hanging at a quilt show because he's getting entered into my county fair at the end of the month. Tiffany, have you done a tutorial on how to add a sleeve to a quilt that's all finished? Because I'm guessing you have to hand stitch all of that in. And that would not be a tutorial that I could give you because I do not hand sew. Oh, wow, look at this. Linda Bishop, my mom, 92, embroidered the baby animals. And then she said something else. What else did she say? I set them and quilted it, and I'm working on a label and binding. Let's take a look at the embroidery that she did. Oh, wow, so pretty. Oh. Oh, look at the little kitty cat. Little piggy. The mouse has a fork and a knife. And this is for the back. Look at the puppy dog. So cute. Thank you for sharing that, Linda. And then we're back to Stephanie. Let's refresh and see if there's anything else in here. Oh, Christine Houghton. Quilt of Valor that was just donated. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And look what you did in the center. Do you guys see the swirls that she did in the quilting and the sky around the eagle? That's gorgeous. Nicely done. And there's Kayla's again. I'll refresh one more time, see if anything new comes in. Nope. That's it. Cool. So, 9:47. That means it's time to go. I think Donna's going to be live tonight. Let me double check and I'll see. I think she is. I think she's getting set up. So, handmade by Ying with Donna. Yep, she's going to be live tonight working on her cheetah. I'm going to go to bed. Well, maybe I'll go. I don't know if I'm really tired, so I might just go hang out with the husband and then come back in here and work and just keep working on my block of the months from Fat Quarter Shop for the previous months. So what I'm doing right now is configuring the live stream so that when I end this, it will dump you out automatically, hopefully, if everything works correctly, over at Donna's channel. For those of you that want to go hang out over there, she'll continue the Friday night party. And there, that should be set there. I'm going to put her video in the chat as well, like 3 or 4 times, so you guys can click on it. You know what I will say? You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I'm going that way. That means I'm ending this live stream. Thank you, friends, so much for hanging out with me. I had a blast putting this together, and I am looking forward to doing blocks 3 through 12 on a live stream. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, I get my Carnival Puzzle Mystery Quilt stuff soon, and we can work on clue number 1 together. But in the meantime, be kind to yourself, hug someone that you love, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye!